So we have India's worst hijacking, the Kandahar story, Nürburgring video. Don't think so. By the channel Wyngx, 1 year ago.
This is your captain speaking. I regret to inform you कि ये plane hijack हो चुका है. Please trust me. I'm trying everything possible to make sure that we all reach home safely.
A hijacked Indian Airlines plane is flying over Pakistan. The plane has less than 10 minutes of fuel remaining. Under pressure from the hijackers, the plane is approaching Lahore International Airport. The captain requests landing clearance from Pakistan ATC, but they deny it. They turn off the runway lights and all navigation aids at the airport. Lahore shuts down its entire airspace. Pakistan threatens to shoot the plane down. The crew is flying completely blind over hostile territory. The hijackers demand the plane be landed immediately. Then, a ray of hope. The captain sees a long line of lights in the distance. He has spotted the runway. He starts descending the plane. Landing gear is down. But as they keep going lower, they see something shocking. The outline of cars and trucks and
shit,
start
it's
becoming
the highway.
They are about to land on a highway. For the passengers and crew of this Indian Airlines flight, this short 1.5-hour journey is about to turn into days of terror.
Well, shit.
And by the time the story finishes, deadly chapters will be written in history, including that of the 9/11 attacks and the 2001 attack on the Indian Parliament. This is the story of Indian Airlines flight IC814.
Okay.
It's Christmas Eve 1999, and this is Tribhuvan International Airport
I
in
am 1 year
Kathmandu,
old.
Nepal. Indian Airlines Flight 814, an Airbus A300, is preparing for a short flight to India's capital, New Delhi. In the cockpit, conducting pre-flight checks, is 37-year-old Captain Devi Sharan. With him are First Officer Rajendra Kumar and 58-year-old Flight Engineer Anil Kumar Jagia. Inside the terminal, passengers line up for security check. And in that line are 5 men, each holding a bag. As each of the men pass through the detector, there is a silent nod between them and the security officer. 4 weeks earlier, 5 tickets.
I was gonna say, like, it's pretty well known that before 9/11, it's not just in America, but in most countries, the security check for getting on a plane was super lax. You know, but it's still kind of crazy to actually get on a plane with weapons, you know.
For IC814 are purchased. 2 for business class, 3 for economy. The names on the tickets are fake. Over in Pakistan, Dawood Ibrahim, one of India's most wanted, makes a phone call. His associate in Kathmandu picks up.
Hello.
Dawood instructs them that these 5 men need to be led through security check at Tribhuvan. No questions asked. Indian intelligence in Nepal intercepts this message, and they learn that a plan to hijack an Indian plane in Kathmandu is underway. But what they don't know is which plane and what date the hijack is planned for. Indian intelligence in Kathmandu is handled by the Research and Analysis Wing, RAW for short. Shashi Bhushan Tomar, a senior RAW officer, is posted at Kathmandu. He receives the intelligence about the impending attack, but unfortunately, he rejects the information as a hoax, and this message is not transmitted to RAW leadership in Delhi.
Okay, I mean, okay.
The men and the guns in their bags pass through security check at the airport. There are 178 passengers on board, many returning home from short holidays during the Christmas break.
It's like, on one hand, I understand that, you know, despite the fact that they actually believe this is going to happen, they've intercepted the real plan for it. They can't actually ground all the plane until they've arrested the culprit for economy and all that, right? But then on the other hand, they should have like crazy amount of people working on this to prevent it from happening. And yet someone working on this is like, this is fake news. I'm just gonna go chill.
The year 2000 is 1 week away, and there's anticipation and positivity looking forward to a new beginning. This plane departs Kathmandu at 4 p.m. local time. The plane climbs to 10,000 feet. The seatbelt signs are turned off. The plane enters Indian airspace. It's a short flight, so the flight crew begin in-flight refreshments. This was the cue. A man sitting in business class dons a ski mask and grabs senior flight attendant Anil Sharma. He tells Anil that he has a bomb and the crew are to follow all his commands. In the back of the plane, the other hijackers have done the same and are now brandishing guns at the passengers and the crew. The 5 hijackers call each other by code names: Chief, Burger, Doctor, Shankar and Bola. The chief hijacker orders Anil Sharma to take him to the cockpit. Remember, this is pre-2001 and the cockpit doors don't have the same security precautions that they have today. With a gun pointed at his head, Chief orders Captain Sharan to turn the plane right and start flying west. They want to go to Lahore in Pakistan, and if he fails to obey, they will kill a passenger. Captain Sharan does not want to leave the Indian borders.
I was going to say, I don't really know the situation. I know obviously Pakistan and India are not very friendly, but is it to the point where you can't actually travel to each country? So if an Indian plane gets within Pakistan territory, it's like an attack?
In order to stall and buy some time, Captain Sharan tells the hijacker that they don't have enough fuel to go to Lahore. The hijacker asks him what his alternate airport is. Sharan responds that it's Bombay. Lahore is closer to Delhi than Bombay. If they have enough fuel for Bombay, then they have enough fuel for Lahore.
Right.
The hijackers have done their homework and the captain's attempts to stall fails. Inside the cabin, the passengers are being segregated. The male passengers are being moved to the front of the plane and the female passengers and children are moved to the rear. Back in the cockpit, unseen by the hijackers, Captain Sharan sets a transponder to the hijack code. 7.
Wouldn't you do the opposite? Having the women and children throughout the cockpit, so like they form a shield so the men can't try to overpower you or something? I don't know.
500. This lets the Indian ATC know for the first time that IC-814 has been hijacked. The time is 4:40 p.m. India time. The plane makes an unplanned right turn. The hijackers don't allow the captain to talk to Indian ATC. All that the ATC can see is that a hijacked Indian Airlines plane is flying towards Pakistan.
Yeah, bye.
Delhi ATC contacts the central government's crisis management group, headed by Union Secretary Prabhat Kumar. Unfortunately, it takes about an hour for the CMG to convene. Neither India's Intelligence Bureau nor the Research and Analysis Wing, who have both dealt with previous hijackings, are notified. So at this point, nobody from the Indian government is helping Captain Sharan. He needs to figure things out himself. He doesn't want the plane to leave the Indian borders. He believes that as long as the plane is within India, the Indian security forces will be able to engage the hijackers and free the hostages.
But how do they engage the hijacker? Like, that only happens if you manage to land. Otherwise, you're doomed. Like, how do they get on board?
So, to buy time, he slows the plane down by 40% to keep the plane within the borders for as long as possible. The plane is now flying over Punjab and it approaches the Pakistani border. They tune into Lahore ATC. The plane is squawking the hijack code, so Lahore knows that the Indian plane has been hijacked. Pakistan and India are not on friendly terms. They have just fought a war in Kargil 5 months ago, and trust between the two nations is at an all-time low. Captain Sharan requests landing clearance, but Pakistan flatly refuses to accept the plane into its territory. Pakistan goes one step further. They shut down the entire Lahore airspace. The captain needs help. Amritsar airport is just 5 minutes away, but the hijackers won't let the plane land in India. And now they're legitimately starting to run low on fuel. Half an hour passes. The plane is circling over the India-Pakistan border. Captain Sharan calls up Amritsar ATC.
We have only 1 hour of fuel and Lahore is not letting us enter their airspace.
Amritsar ATC does not have any training nor experience in handling a hijacking, and they've not received any directions from the central government so far.
Please get permission to land at Lahore. Otherwise, they have already selected 10 people to kill.
Captain Sharan continues to plead. With no help coming from India, Captain Sharan needs to take things into his own hands. He convinces the hijackers that since Pakistan isn't allowing them into their territory and since they are running terribly low on fuel, their only alternatives are to either land in Amritsar or to crash the plane into the ground. With no other options, the hijackers agree to landing in Amritsar. The plane lands at Amritsar's Raja Sansi Airport, 50 kilometers to the east of Lahore, at 6:44 p.m. India time. The hijacked Indian plane, inside India, is the best chance for the Indian commandos to free the hostages. But what happens next is a historic blunder. The crisis team at Amritsar received its first order from Delhi at 6:40 p.m. They were to delay refueling for as long as possible and prevent the plane from taking off at any cost. Punjab police are ordered not to engage with the hijackers.
I was gonna say, like, that was weird that we landed because he told earlier that we land on the highway, so it means that, yeah, they're not managing to stop them. They're gonna take flight again.
They are instructed to wait for the Indian commandos to reach Amritsar. But the problem is that the commandos are still in Delhi, 500 kilometers away, and they haven't departed yet. Something or someone is holding them back.
Oh, it is an inside agent or something?
The hijackers are getting frustrated that the plane isn't being refueled as the captain had promised. They threaten to start killing people on board. And this threat alarms Delhi. Delhi orders the Amritsar crisis team to send a fuel truck to the plane, but to hide Punjab commandos inside the truck. They are to slash the tires and position the truck in front of the plane so that the plane cannot take off. The fuel truck with the local commandos starts approaching the plane. The truck is approaching at a very high rate of speed, and the ATC worries that the truck going that fast will make the hijackers suspicious. So, they instruct the driver to slow down. This order confuses the driver, and he abruptly stops in the middle of the runway. This random stopping of the truck...
What do you mean confused? Like, I wish we had the actual translation of the sounds. Like, if someone tells you to slow down, it doesn't mean stop.
Alarms the hijackers, and they are convinced that the Indians are about to attack the plane. They panic and order the captain to take off immediately. That there is no fuel left in the plane is no consideration. The captain refuses. A standoff between the hijackers and the crew begins. But this will end in deadly consequences. One of the hijackers, Doctor, goes into the business class cabin and stabs Rupin Katyal, a 25-year-old man returning from...
I mean, at this point, obviously, I understand that probably, like, all the passengers have no idea of the details, right? But at this point, like, if you're the captain, the logical thing to do would be to try to push the attacker outside of the cockpit, lock the cockpit, get onto, like, the radio of the plane, and tell the passenger it's like, they want us to take flight again, but if we do, we're gonna crash, we have no fuel, we're gonna die, so, like, the only option is to either try to fight them off or just die, basically, because, I don't know, at this point, like, going back into the sky is, like, absolute death, right?
In the cockpit, the chief hijacker begins a countdown, and if the plane doesn't take off by the time he counts to 10, they'll continue killing more people. 1, 2, 3, 4. The captain is left with no choice. He announces to the ATC that they are taking off.
I mean, it's always the same, yeah, like there's what, 5 hijackers and 170 people, but, you know, there's often a situation like this where, yeah, like, you would think that's what people would do, but it doesn't work that way, yeah. Everybody's scared to be the first one to make the move and take a bullet. I get it.
We are all dying now. We're heading towards Lahore.
The plane lifts off from Indian soil for the last time. Just as the plane takes off, the NSG commandos from Delhi arrive in Amritsar. Let me introduce you to the man sitting in seat 16C of this plane. Remember the raw official in Nepal, Shashi Bhushan Tomar, who was informed weeks earlier that a hijacking was going to happen, but dismissed that intel? As fate would have it, Shashi Bhushan Tomar is a passenger on this plane. Shashi Bhushan Tomar is married to the sister of N.K. Singh, the secretary to the Prime Minister. It is alleged that NK Singh made sure that no commando activity happened on the plane to ensure the safety of his brother-in-law, and this caused a delay in the commandos reaching Amritsar.
But what safety? Like, if you don't save them, they're going back into the sky with no fuel. That makes little sense.
The plane slices through the darkness towards Pakistan. Although the Lahore airspace has already been shut down, the crew ignores it and crosses the border. Permission to land is once again denied. Pakistan threatens to shoot the plane down if they continue to fly in their territory, but the crew ignores this threat. To prevent the plane from landing, Pakistan turns off all navigation aids and the airport lights.
Please let us land. We don't have any fuel left.
As the captain continues to beg for permission, a low fuel warning starts blaring in the cockpit. With 5 minutes of fuel left, Captain Sharan decides to risk it. He sees a row of lights in the distance, which he assumes is the airport, and he starts descending towards it. As they get closer, he sees cars and bikes and people on the road. They are about to land in the middle of a highway. Pakistan is terrorized that they might end up having an Indian airplane crash in the middle of Lahore, and they decide to allow the plane to land instead.
Now.
The navigation aids and the runway lights are turned back on. The plane lands at 8 p.m. in the evening.
Oh, so they don't actually land in the highway. Okay, I see.
A hijacked Indian plane is now inside Pakistan.
I don't even know if that was possible, because you often see videos of like little plane, people like manage to land it on the highway in emergency, but I don't think I've ever seen a video of like a commercial flight landing on an highway, because that would probably be a disaster with the amount of shit they would like run into.
What will Pakistan do? The plane is immediately surrounded by elite Pakistani commandos. Captain Sharan requests Pakistan to send the stairs so that women and children and the injured passenger can be off-boarded, but Pakistan refuses.
What are the terrorists
They
doing?
don't want to be seen as having anything to do with the hijacking. They want the plane to leave their country as soon as possible.
So they're gonna be sure.
Back in the cabin, the injured passenger is bleeding to death. The ATC informs the captain.
We'll give you fuel if you want, लेकिन हम बस इतना ही करेंगे.
They refuse to allow the passengers to disembark. After 3 hours, and with a tank full of fuel, IC-814 takes off into the darkness of the night.
Damn.
Back in India, rumors that some passengers may have been killed spreads panic among the family and relatives of those on board. The hijackers order the plane to be flown to Kabul, Afghanistan. But you can't land
Afghanistan now.
in Kabul. So they choose Oman instead. Just like Pakistan,
What are they even trying to do? Like, okay.
Oman refuses entry as well. So they divert to the UAE. Sometime during the night, unfortunately, Rupin Katyal, who was stabbed by the hijackers, breathes his last.
Rest in peace.
The UAE permits the plane to land at Al Minad Air Force Base near Dubai, and it's around 3 a.m. local time. Having blundered,
It's like, what do they want? I thought at first they wanted to start shit with Pakistan again by, hijacking like an Indian plane and doing something in Pakistan, but now it seems they don't really care and they're going to like different countries. Like, and they're not making any demands or anything. Hello, feels Dadam. Nice to meet you.
the opportunity to carry out a commando operation on its own soil, India requests the UAE to permit Indian commandos to storm the plane in Dubai. But the UAE isn't willing to permit any foreign commando action on its soil. But they are able to negotiate the release of some passengers and the body of Rupin Katyal in exchange for fuel. His wife Rachna Katyal, who is seated in the back of the airplane, isn't even aware that her husband is dead. The plane is refueled and it takes off once again. The plane starts flying north. Destination unknown.
Okay. Where are we going?
The sun rises on day 2 of the hijacking. The plane is on the runway at Kandahar airport in Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
This is going to be home for the next 5 days. In 1999, Afghanistan is controlled by the Taliban.
Yeah.
The Taliban surround the plane with armed fighters and tanks, which they claim is to dissuade the hijackers from killing more people. India, on the other hand, believes that the hijackers are getting active support from the Taliban and from Pakistan's ISI.
Are they? At this point, like, how do you know which side they're on?
And that their safe exit from Afghanistan was guaranteed. The conditions on the plane are terrible. The plane is running low on food, and the passengers are being fed inconsistent meals. The toilets are overflowing. The hijackers have ordered all the windows to be shut.
Windows down! Windows down, everyone!
The hostages can't see anything outside, nor do they know what their fate is going to be. It's now day 3 of the hijacking. In India, pressure mounts on the Indian government. The Indians are yet to establish contact with the hijackers, and no one knows what the condition of the people on the plane is.
Right? What the fuck do the hijacker want at this point?
On the 26th of December, External Affairs Minister Jashwant Singh is at a press conference about the hijacking when relatives of the passengers storm the meeting. The family of the hijacked passengers want the Indian government to meet any demands of the hijackers to free their loved ones. The Indian Prime Minister Vajpayee is opposed to the idea.
We don't know what the hijackers want yet. But
Well,
whatever
fucking
it
ask
is,
them.
this is not the way to do it.
On day 4 of the hijacking, the 27th of December, the Indian government's negotiations team finally lands in Afghanistan. Unknown to the Taliban and the hijackers, the Indians have a team of elite Black Cat commandos hidden on board.
Black Cat Commandos.
As soon as the Indian plane comes to a stop, the Taliban surrounds it, taking offensive positions. With the Taliban militia surrounding the aircraft, a lightning strike by the hidden commandos isn't possible anymore. India doesn't recognize the
what a
Taliban
mess.
regime. But if they are to find a solution, they need to start talking to and working with them. The Indian team negotiates with the hijackers for over 2 days and obtain the entire list of their demands. The passengers are to be freed in exchange for 3 militants: Maulana Masood Azhar, the founder of Arkat-ul-Mujahideen; Ahmed Omar Saeed Sheikh,
So that's
a
what they
British
want.
citizen and a follower of Maulana Masood Azhar, who has been arrested for the kidnapping of foreign nationals in Kashmir; and Mushtaq Ahmed Zargar, the chief commander of the militant group Al-Umar Mujahideen. The 3 militants are released from jails from different parts of India, and they are brought to Delhi. From there,
I'm glad they're doing it. I thought they were going to say, like, we don't negotiate with terrorists or something, but come on. Like, 170 people versus 3. Even though those 3 people might continue terrorist operation and kill more people, I don't know. I think it had to be done.
they board a flight and are flown to Kandahar. On the 31st of December, the hijackers release all the prisoners.
Okay.
On board the plane, the passengers of IC-814 celebrate their freedom. India expected the Taliban to arrest the hijackers, but that did not happen. The Taliban leaders take the 5 hijackers in a car towards the border, the Pakistani border.
Well, great. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, it is the Taliban regime. I shouldn't be surprised. The Mujahideen, aren't the Mujahideen literally like some kind of resistance group to the Soviet occupation of Afghanistan, right? So I don't think they're directly associated with the Taliban government, but at the same time, you know, I don't think they're quite enemies, so I'm not surprised.
And they escaped from Kandahar as free men.
Today's news from Pakistan.
I mean, still, like, you know, one death in this mess is really, it's sad for that person, but it could have been so much worse. And it's almost a miracle that they actually released the hostage, you know. The guy released Azhar committed multiple terror attacks in India after, including in 2018 and recently in 2025. Yeah, I mean, that's not surprising, right? That's not surprising. And obviously, like, you know, some people could argue that, like, maybe it was worth it to not release him at the time, and whatever if 170 people died. But I don't think so. I think that was the right choice from India. I think that was the right choice. Then obviously, maybe, I don't really know the details, maybe you can say, like, after that, maybe, like, India didn't do a good job defending from the terrorists later on or something, but clearly that was the right choice, yeah.
That 2 of the released persons have surfaced there only goes to confirm Pakistan is neck deep in this dirty game of hijacking.
Oh, people think it was a mistake. I don't know. I don't think you can look at it like that. I think at that very moment it made sense, and frankly it was a success. I don't think you can look at it like that, right? I mean, like in that moment, 170 lives was saved, you know? Even if like 10,000 people died later on from terrorist attack by those people, I don't think it really, like it's that simple, right? Yeah. In that moment, I think, yeah, things worked out. And later on, I'm sure there's like other things to blame, right? Like maybe counter-terrorist organization not being good enough and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, it's complicated.
Soon after his release, Maulana Masood Azhar moved back to Pakistan and founded the militant group Jaish-e-Mohammed, which perpetrated the attack on the Indian Parliament in 2001, which killed 7 people and injured 18 more. He now lives a free man in Pakistan. Omar Sheikh was arrested in 2002 for the murder of Daniel Pearl, and he played a significant role in the planning of the September 11 attacks in the United States.
Okay, yeah.
Mushtaq Ahmed Zargar continues to play an active role in training militants, and he too lives free in Pakistan. Little is known about what happened to the hijackers after they escaped to Pakistan. The plane that was hijacked was retired from service by Indian Airlines in 2001. So what do you think India should have done? Do you agree with India's approach to release the militants?
I mean, clearly, like, you know, there was some mistake from India, like they were slow and all that. But in the end, personally, yeah, I don't know. They saved 170 people. In that moment, it made sense. You know, it's kind of the, what's the name of it? I mean, if you watch Fate Zero, I'm sure you know what scene I'm mentioning, right? Like, there's 300 people in this boat, 200 in this boat. One of them has a leak. The 200 capture you and tell you that they want you to repair their boat. And, you know, do you kill the 200 to save the 300? Or, you know, it's like the trolley problem. That's what it is. Like the train trolley, like you can divert the plane from running over like 10 people or like 1 child or something. It's that kind of thing, right? Like, I mean, I guess it's obvious that releasing some like high-level terrorists, you know, you're not going to have an easy time capturing them again, so they're probably going to kill and cause trouble again. But in that very moment, you saved 170 people, you know. So I don't know. I don't think they did wrong, even if the result is like 9/11 and a bunch of more terrorist attack, you know. Because like, you can't say that like releasing those guys was the only event and the only mistake that led to this other attack. Not that I have the context, but I assume, you know, like there was a lot more mistake that led to it happening, from the cops and the anti-terrorist organization, I assume, that's stopping this attack from happening. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I think. I think it was right.
Let me know in the comments below. Back in 1962, in the middle of the Vietnam War, an American military airplane carrying American soldiers disappeared from radar, leading to one of the biggest aviation mysteries of the 20th century.
Interesting.
I'm sure you love that story, so click this thumbnail to watch that video.
It had a terrorist attack which killed 26 tourists in Pahalgam in 2025. I see, the one in Kashmir, right? I see. I don't know. I mean, it's really like an hard thing to really like have a definitive answer on, but yeah. I really don't think it's fair to say you should have like not released those guys and let those people die, right? I mean, I guess you could argue that like, you know, they should have not fucked up earlier and stormed the plane the first time it landed in India, right? Sure, maybe like a couple people would have died, but at least then you wouldn't have released the terrorists. But again, like, you know, the mistake already made, and now they were stuck in freaking like Taliban-controlled Afghanistan. There was literally like no way to send a commando. Like, there was literally like nothing else to do, right? Like, what else would they have done? They can't send a commando. Yeah. Sure, there was mistakes, but it is what it is. Okay, very interesting. Very interesting. Great video. Great video. It may not be baseball, but great video.